Welcome to Digital Decode, where we decode the digital landscape of all things media.
From content creation and advertising to everything in between, for professionals and entrepreneurs.
Video ads are nowadays the most crucial ad format that you can use to support your business.
Here are a few critical facts about video ads. In 2019, U.S. advertisers spent over $35 billion with a B on video ads. That is a 27% year-over-year growth, and it's expected to be $60 billion by 2023. Another fact is fewer and fewer people are skipping ads. Surprisingly, and a lot of people don't know this as much as they think they do, 90% of people actually watch video ads all the way through. That means 15-second, 30-second, 60-second, and 6-second ads are all being watched. So it is a way to engage with the customer. The last one is 90% of millennials watch digital video on a weekly basis, while they only watch TV 78% of the time. So when it comes to millennials, digital video is key.
Now let's talk socially. Facebook has over 300 million active users on their story ads. Instagram sees 400 million active users on their daily story ads. And Snapchat sees 186 million active story users. This is really great information to know because it shows you that how people are really invested in story ads, and that story ads are really a great opportunity for you to take advantage of this type of inventory, considering how mostly everybody is typically looking at story ads from that point of view.
On the platform side, there are a lot of benefits to video as well, from a ad recall perspective, from a brand awareness perspective, getting people to consider your product more often, and from a purchase intent perspective. A lot of people don't realize a lot of platforms have created ways to engage people in the last and final purchase step of the process. It's not just about brand awareness anymore. Now it's about driving people all the way to that checkout cart on your website page. We get that it's important to know how to properly invest in video, and we've just told you why it's so important. So now what we want to do is go through a few key steps to make sure that people don't hit the skip button when they're watching your ads.
Some of those steps that John was mentioning, we'll go through them one by one. One being that representation matters. So it's no secret that multicultural audiences spend more time watching online videos than the general population. The average African American spends about 17 hours a month watching video online. Asian Americans spend about 15 hours a month, and Hispanics spend about 12 hours a month. Now the general population is just behind the Hispanics because they also watch 12 hours a month watching video. Black millennials say they are likely to consider a brand that positively reflects Black culture. 43% of the entire Asian American population watches online video daily. So these facts really surprised me because I thought that the average user will spend more time watching video, but you have to realize that you are not considered the average user. You have to think outside the box. And whenever I watch video or whenever I'm planning a recommendation, I always have to take myself out of the strategy because I'm not going to be considered the whole entire market.
Right. For me, I'm a video super user. I watch hours of YouTube probably every day after I get home from work. So I probably skew a lot higher on that 17-hour mark. And then I think it's also talking about these audiences as a whole, whereas I think if we were to talk about millennials or Gen Z specifically, the numbers would probably be way higher. And then you got to think it's also like everything from you watching a video on Instagram every 5 minutes that you're checking your phone, or whether it's you sitting down in front of a TV watching a whole episode of whatever on Amazon Prime or something like that. So
yeah, that's really great. So basically our call loss is basically saying that if you're going to be using online video, you need to take yourself out of the equation because your consumers are not necessarily you, but your consumers are the ones going to be investing. So think of your consumer and not of yourself.
Exactly. Knowing how to tell a good story is the second pillar of video advertising. Storytelling also plays a massive role in the way that people engage with your video. The better the story, the better the engagement. But the way you tell that story isn't necessarily the same as you would tell it offline with traditional TV advertising. And there are a few different reasons for that. And one of them is the skip button that we're talking about now. People have to be engaged quickly and aggressively. Otherwise, it's likely that they won't stick around for the message you have to send. In fact, according to Google, the parent company of YouTube, the emerging story arc is the most engaging and important part of telling a story now. The emerging story arc starts up the pace super fast and delivers the message quickly, with unexpected surprises until it fades out. No more build-up. It needs to go straight from climax to payoff. And I think that's important to let people know, like, as soon as that video starts, it needs to slap the person with the messaging that it's trying to deliver them. It needs to aggressively grab you by your collar and pull you in.
I agree. Some of the best brands that do storytelling very well, I would say Nike, Coca-Cola. We use Coca-Cola for a lot of examples in real life.
I mean, that's because they're great at branding. Like they put so much money, time, and energy into branding that I don't think there's anybody that competes with them on that level besides, like you said, like Nike or...
Nike's really great. Coca-Cola. I think McDonald's does a really good job as far as telling a compelling, genuine story to their audience as well. And another brand that did really well with telling a really great, compelling story, I would say, would be the Black Panther Lexus commercial. So this is a very visual representation. They did a really good job as far as telling a really good, compelling story. So Lexus had this new model coming out. It's called the LC Coupe, and the brand wanted to improve the image with trend-setting buyers and including Black people. So the auto company basically went on out and partnered with Marvel, the GOAT of all comic books.
Oh gosh, Team DC, Team
the
DC.
GOAT of all comic books. But Lexus teamed up with Marvel and to support the Black Panther movie, which rolled out in February of 2018. The movie was a phenomenon and a cultural success across the globe, breaking records that we've never seen before. Due to that success in the movie being so great, Lexus was able to not one, achieve their goal as far as changing brand awareness, but also they were also able to target more trendsetters as well. For an example, the Lexus vehicle was featured in New York Fashion Week. Another example would be that the Lexus model was featured in Marvel comic books. And in 2018, February, their sales increased by 86% for the LS model, which was the same month that the movie was released. So not only did Lexus meet their goal for changing the image among Black consumers, but they were also successful in being able to be relevant and trendsetters.
No, I absolutely agree. I mean, I am definitely, like I said, Team DC, but without a doubt that backflip onto the Lexus in the Black Panther scene, amazing. One of the most dope scenes out of comic book movies ever, and I specifically remember that image every time I think about the movie, so that branding was spot on, and then how they use that branding to create ads afterwards, extremely compelling, for sure.
Yeah.
So, when it comes to our last pillar, it's all about preaching to the choir. Yes, I know we hear it all the time. Don't waste your time telling people something that they already know. But when it comes to targeting with video ads, it's extremely important that your message is sent to the people that want to hear it. There is no point in wasting money sending a message to a group of people that have no intention of buying what it is you're selling. In fact, as Kevin Kelly, founder of Wired Magazine, puts it, a true fan is defined as a person who will buy anything you produce. These are diehards. They will drive 100 miles to see you sing or perform. They will buy your paperback, your hardcover, and your audiobook. They will subscribe to your YouTube channel and buy whatever else it is that you ask them to do. Why? Because they love you. And if you only have 1,000 of these true fans, that is more than enough to make a successful living. And I think what's really important to pull out about that is something also Seth Godin says, which is that something is made for a tribe of people. And if you're not interested in it, that's fine, because it's not for you. And that's what's really important when it comes to video, because this is also gonna save you a lot of money in making sure you're targeting the people that are worth it and not wasting your time on the people who aren't.
Yeah, that's really great. Like, your tribe defines your vibe, so think of it of that nature. So, moving on.
So, to achieve that, you need the right targeting, both from a demographic, geographic, affinity, and intent perspective. In other words, market to those who need it intent marketing, market to those who are engaged, affinity, market to those in range, demographic, and market to those in sight. Most major platforms use these same 4 targeting types in order to target customers. So as long as you have a good idea of where your customer falls in all 4 of these, you'll definitely able to keep your cost low and your engagement high.
That's very, very true. So what's the next steps? Is video and advertising worth it? The answer is yes, hence why we are discussing this video. But with an uptick in streaming and with video streaming and services going to more original content, it's really important that you understand that there's an increased opportunity for video ads, which is why you as an entrepreneur will need to keep video investment top of mind for your business.
And let's be honest, video advertising from a creative perspective can be extremely expensive. Still, there are a lot of programs and services out there that can make this a lot cheaper than it used to be. Those are websites and companies like Fiverr, Upwork, and Video Hive. And when it comes to ROI, expect certain types of video advertising to achieve certain and specific results.
So let's go back over those takeaways. Representation matters, so make sure that the diversity of your ads highlights the diversity of your customers. Tell a good story, but don't tell it the old way. Preach to the choir because they are the ones that are willing to listen.
Absolutely. And so as long as you focus on these 3 pillars when it comes to creating your videos, you can ensure that they sit back, listen, and don't even know the skip button exists. That's our episode for today, and we will see you in the next one.
Deuces.